Ever wondered how developers ship their apps so fast and it just works? That's Docker. In this video, I will explain what Docker is, why it's awesome, and we'll even create our first Docker container together. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Prakash, and today we are diving into Docker. It is the tool that's changing how developers build, ship, and run applications. And don't worry, I'll keep it simple. In the next 15 minutes, you are going to understand what Docker is, why it's such a game changer, and how to actually use it with a hands-on demo. So whether you are a developer, a student, or just curious about containers, this is for you. Let's get started. So what exactly is Docker? Docker is a platform that allows you to build, ship, and run applications in containers. Think of containers like shipping containers for software. They package your code along with everything it needs to run, like libraries and dependencies. This makes your app portable and ensures it runs the same on any system, whether it's your laptop, a server, or even the cloud. Now let us look at why you should care about Docker. Without Docker, running your app on different systems can cause bugs because of mismatched environments. Docker solves this by giving your app a consistent environment every single time. It's lightweight, fast, and perfect for developers who want to build once and run anywhere. Plus, it works amazingly with CI/CD pipelines and microservices. Before we dive deeper into Docker, let's quickly cover some of the key concepts you will need to know. First, we have Docker image. An image is essentially a snapshot or a blueprint of your application. It includes everything your app needs to run, may it be code, dependencies, libraries, and even configuration files. Think of it like a recipe for your container. Now, we have containers. A container is a running instance of an image. Once you create a container from an image, it's like spinning up an app that's fully isolated and works consistently, no matter where it's running. Next is the Docker engine. The Docker engine is the heart of Docker. It's the software that runs on your machine and enables you to manage and run containers. Think of it as the engine powering Docker's magic. Finally, we have Docker Hub. Docker Hub is like a cloud-based store or library for Docker images. You can find thousands of public images, share your own, and even create private repos for your apps. Now let's take a look at the Docker architecture. Docker is based on a client-server model. The Docker client sends requests to the Docker daemon. The Docker daemon is responsible for building, running, and managing containers. It listens for commands from the client and carries out the work. You also have the Docker registry. This is where Docker images are stored. The Docker Hub is a public registry, but you can also create private registries for your own use. Together, these components work seamlessly to allow you to build, store, and run Docker containers. Alright, now that we have got the basics down, let's dive into a hands-on demo. First, you will need to make sure Docker is installed on your machine. Go to the Docker website and download the appropriate version for your OS. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Once the installation is complete, you can launch Docker Desktop. When Docker starts, you will see the whale icon in the taskbar, which means Docker is running properly. This is the Docker dashboard. Here, you can manage your containers, images, volumes, and networks. Right now it's empty because we haven't created anything yet, but soon we will build and run our first container. Okay, so once it is installed, you can verify Docker is running by running the following command, which is docker version, in your terminal or command prompt. You should see the version number of Docker displayed, confirming that everything is set up. Now that Docker is installed, let's build a simple Node.js application that we will later run inside a Docker container. First, create a new folder for your project and open it in your code editor. Inside that folder, create a file called app.js. This will be the entry point of our application. Let's write a basic Express server. Now this code setups a web server that responds with hello from Docker when you visit the home page. Now let's initialize the project. For this, open a terminal and run npm init-y. This generates a package.json file which keeps track of your app's dependencies. Next, install Express with npm install express. This will add Express to your project, which is necessary for our server to work. Now that our app is ready, we can containerize it using Docker in the next step. Now, let's look at how to write a Docker file. A Docker file is a text file that contains instructions for building a Docker image. Let's go through a basic example. Here's a simple Docker file that starts from an official node.js image, installs app dependencies, and then runs the app. You will start with from node 14, which tells Docker to use the node.js 14 image as the base. Then we use work directory /app to set the working directory inside the container. After that, copy package star.json copies our app's dependency files. Finally, run npm install installs those dependencies, and the cmd npm start will start our app inside the container. Now that we have written our Docker file and have our node.js app ready, let's build the Docker image and run it. First, make sure you're in the root folder of your project in the terminal. To build the image, run the following command. Here, my node app is the name of the image we are creating, and the dot tells Docker to use the current directory. Once the build is complete, we can verify the image by running Docker images. Here, we will find our newly created image along with details like its name, tag, etc. This confirms that our app has been successfully Dockerized and is ready to be run inside a container. We can also find it inside Docker Desktop. Under the Images tab, it will be listed there too. Once the image is built successfully, let's run it as a container. Use the following command. This maps port 3000 on your computer to port 3000 inside the container where our Node.js app is running. Now open your browser and go to localhost 3000. You should see the message "Hello from Docker." That means everything is working correctly. Your app is now running inside a Docker container. Now that our container is running, let's quickly check it out in Docker Desktop. Open Docker Desktop and navigate to the Containers Apps section. Here you will see our container listed. It's up and running. You can also see details like the port mapping, container name and status. If you ever want, you can stop, restart, or even delete the container directly from this dashboard. And that's the beauty of Docker Desktop. It gives you a simple yet powerful way to manage your containers visually. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go over how to clean up Docker resources. When you are experimenting, it's common to end up with unused containers, images, and networks. Here's how you can remove them. To stop a container running, first find its container ID by running docker ps. Then stop it by using docker stop container ID. To remove a container, we use docker rm container ID. And finally, if you want to remove all unused containers, networks, and images in one go, we can use docker system prune. You will be asked to confirm, and then Docker will clean up everything that's not in use. And that brings us to the end of this beginner-friendly Docker tutorial. We covered everything from installing Docker, creating a Node.js app, writing a Docker file, running it in a container, and even cleaning things up. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.